Hello, everyone. I just noticed my hair is kind of out of whack. Probably was in the last video too. That's okay though. You probably, I think you've been trying something new here. I think you've been trying something new. This is how you know that this video will be for you. All right. You're trying something new here. And you're very much ascending to new heights, places. Things probably feel very different right now. You're even just you might feel very different. You might notice you're reacting differently to certain situations. Everything you're doing feels different, right? Even if you're doing the same things, there's a different energy to it, right? Even if that's hard to explain, even to yourself, right? You just feel it, you just know it, right? And it's because you've been doing something, right? Whatever your practice is, you've been doing something, something different, right? You've been doing something different, and it's bringing you to new heights. It's bringing you to a new place. And with what I see here, it's putting you into a very receptive energy to come into union with someone, or even with yourself. So the receptive energy would speak to me as divine feminine, right? So what I would say is you're being brought into that energy to either integrate it into yourself, or if you feel you've already done that, to come into union with someone, right? Yeah. And with that being said, let's get into the tarot here. I will say, I shuffled my tarot deck, and the Nine of Wands here happened to be on top and also facing, right? All the other cards in the deck are facing downwards to where I can't see them, but the one on top happens to be the Nine of Wands, and was showing. And it felt significant to the reading. Patience in silence. Kind of quiet strength, right? Patience in silence, knowing what you have and defending it type of energy, which is very strong feminine energy as well. Can also be a very, right, feminines and masculines, the energy protects itself and others in different ways, right? And also, all of that regardless is just different ways of identifying how people show up in the world, right? It doesn't have to be your biological sex or whatever, right? Normally I don't really feel called to mention that, but for some reason I did here, so there we go. Nine of Pentacles, a prosperous past and future. So where you are right now, I think you're looking at where you're at with a lot of gratitude, right? You're looking at where you're at with a lot of gratitude. Yeah. Inevitably, Seven of Cups. Peace and serenity, right? Peace and stillness. Also, what the Nine of Wands was, right? Same energy, right? Very similar, anyway. You're looking at your life with a lot of gratitude here. And it will lead to, well, best case scenario, it leads to some kind of balance, right? Finding balance in your life as it currently is, and so that you can grow into the future, right? So that you can move onwards and upwards, right? With that Ascension card, you are already energetically or inside of yourself, you have already started making leaps and bounds, right? You're thinking different, you're showing up different, you're talking different, you're thinking different, right? And while your outer reality might have not changed yet, right, it inevitably will, because you are showing up as a different person, right? Or more accurately, a different version of yourself, right? Whoever you were before is still there. It is just not who you're currently standing in, right? It's not the version of yourself that you're currently indulging. What do we need to cut out here? What do we need to cut out? Ooh. Yep. Okay. So yes. What needs to? Oh man, it got really hot. Yeah, I can tell this is a more powerful message for someone who's a little bit further along on their journey, right? It's a little bit further along. So what's being asked to be cut out here is judgment, right? And owning of your past and moving into a new day, right? And I think what that's saying here is, okay, the judgment is about embracing your past and knowing that it doesn't have control over you, right? In the position of what it needs to, of it being cut out, that means here, right, you've already done this, right? You might be in this kind of energy of wondering, oh, what else do I have to do? What else do I have to look at? What else do I have to heal? What else do I, what work do I have to do to get this, right? What do I have to do to move forward, right? And at the very least, the answer is not in your past, right? The answer is not in your past. You've looked at all that, you've accepted it, you've realized it doesn't have a hold on you, and you're moving forward, right? Now we have the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. So what this tells me is especially with the Ten of Swords, you have realized your worth, right? The Queen of Pentacles is absolutely an energy of like, I know my worth, I know my business, I am wealthy, I know what I have to offer, and I'm not giving it away to just anyone, right? I'm not giving that time and that energy away to just anyone, right? And the Queen of Swords is a very discerning, very smart, very logical energy, right? Willing to cut people off, willing to move people out of their life, willing to be harsh when necessary, to be cold when necessary, right? And with the Ten of Swords here, you're embodying these two energies, right? You're at the end of your struggle, right? You're at the end of your struggle, right? This, like, thinking, this thinking that there's more that you have to do, right? There's more you have to look at. There's more you have to heal. There's more, right? There's more in your past that you have to look at. It's not in your past. That's what's coming through here loud and clear. Whatever situations that you've been looking at to try to, like, alchemize or find a lesson in, right? It's not there. Okay. Maybe it's somewhere else, but realistically, I think you've learned all that you can from your past, right? At least all that you can by yourself, right? At least all that you can at this moment, right? Maybe you'll have a new experience that'll make you look back at your past and there'll actually be something. You'll be like, oh, wow, I realize that now. But right now, there's nothing else to look at. There's no information. The past is in the past. It no longer has a hold on you, okay? This Ten of Swords is also like self-imposed prison, right? This is a prison you're making for yourself, right? Trying to dig up the past and look for any sign or clue or whatever to move forward. You're already there. You're already there. You've built this energy and you've built this, right? You've built these two. And what's interesting is the Empress did not come out. And what we are missing is the Queen of Cups, right? With that, I would say there might be something emotional that you need to look at, right? Again, not from your past. This could be a current situation that you're in. You need to look at emotionally, right? Or with the Union energy here too, right? With the Queen of Cups being a very loving, emotional energy, right? You can 100% pour into yourself from that energy. And I would assume that you are. If you're not, you should be. But I would assume the reason they did not come out is because there's someone who needs to come in for you to pour into, right? For you to give your heart to, for you to offer your cup to, right? You've shown that you have worth. You've shown that, right? But you haven't been able to show how you love yet, you know? You've been able to show your worth and how much you're able to accomplish, and how you can stand strong in the world by yourself, and how you're willing to defend yourself and the people around you, right? How intelligent you are. You've shown all this, but you haven't been able to show anyone truly how much you can love, right? You haven't been able to show that part of yourself. And yeah. And that's something that's very fulfilling. That's something that feels good when you do it, right? That's what this end of a struggle is about, right? You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to cut anyone off. You don't have to defend yourself. Whoever this person will be, it's the end of a struggle, all right? Whoever this person is, you will just be able to love them, and they will love you in return, and it'll be easy. They'll see your worth. They'll see that you're strong. They'll see what you're capable of, and You can just love them and they'll just love you. That's what I'm getting from this. That is what is coming in. Stay in that energy of like gratitude for where you are, right? For what you have, for what you've built for yourself, right? Gratitude for yourself, right? For the strength you have. Stay in that. Stay in that, and it will come. You'll get the chance to. I'm gonna leave this one here. I hope this helped you, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.